When my client asks if they will risk running out of money by a certain age, if they already have a certain amount of retirement nest egg saved up, we answer by analyzing their assets portfolio composition and the spending habit that they have in mind during their retirement. And this is how I do it and how I advise my client. In this case, this is a 55 years old client who has just retired and has planned out his expenses and his wife's expenses together. There is retirement nest egg and any remaining liabilities. So can assume that he has no more active income or other passive income other than those generated by the retirement portfolio. But we can, of course, factor in other sources of income like rental income or pension if there's any. So first step is that we chart out a baseline scenario and analyze a client's retirement nest egg, which consists of 70% in stocks or equities, both in Malaysia and overseas, and then 30% in bonds, whether it's direct bond, or in the form of bond funds. Now, in this case, the client's retirement nest egg is a liquid portfolio, about 2 million. And together with his wife, he says he needs to spend about 10,000 a month starting now. So we could actually look at all his info and project, what's the best case scenario, the worst case scenario, and the middle case scenario for the next 20, 30 years. So I want you to know that for retirement financial preparation, the critical years are actually the 10 years before you retire and the 10 years after you retire. It's what we call as the retirement risk zone. It's very important to actually avoid disastrous financial mistakes or severe market downturns. Super crucial to avoid that, right? So again, we analyze the best case, the worst case, and the middle case scenario for the likelihood of running out of money based on the total retirement fund that you have and your spending pattern. What it means that we are running simulations of markets ups and markets downs every year in every combination of different sequences possible. And this is what we mean by that, right? Why it's so important. The 10 years before and after retirement. Mathematically, both scenarios will give the same average, but a retiree will have vastly different amount of money left at the end of the 10 years just because if they were going through both of these two different scenarios. And just to be very aware of the critical years, like say 10 years before and after retirement, you really want to avoid what we call as the retirement risk zone over here. We then go on to analyze, right, a different scenario, right, the impact of different portfolio allocations, such as what if this portfolio is 100% stocks instead of 70% stock, 30% bond. I want to see how is it different from the baseline scenario in terms of best case, middle case, and the worst case scenario, or even the other way. Now we can actually analyze the cost and effect of a 55% stocks and 45% bond kind of scenario, which is the entire portfolio will be of a lower risk. And with that, what are the corresponding outcomes in the best case, worst case, and middle case scenario? So what I just show you a glimpse of what I do for clients, as a consultant or advisor. So you see that, when people actually, DM me, and usually these are the people, Malaysians, who are in the juncture in their lives whereby they are seeking some second opinion or advice before making some important life decision or financial decision. Retirement is one of it. So in short, when people ask me what do, I educate, I advise, I coach my clients to plan for their money, for their wealth, for their investment better by doing the thinking for them. And if needed, execute the plan for them. At the same time, it solve their problems, give them perspective that they never thought of or maybe they overlooked in the first place. So this is one of the many types of wealth management advisory where we help our clients make better informed money decisions to reduce financial leakages, make their money work harder and more efficiently. There's a link you can check out our clients' stories or testimonials and scope of the services that we provide. Follow for more past and future videos like this on your feed. So getting back to this case, right? The most important factor aside from this kind of retirement roadmap analysis or best case, worst case scenario is this: how your portfolio is being constructed. I cannot emphasize this enough. It is the correlation between two major asset classes in most retirement portfolio, which is stocks and bonds, and the need for this entire portfolio to be defensive enough so it can withstand or survive market downturns without you having to downgrade your lifestyle immediately or in the far future, right? And the things that I've shown you over here are some of the considerations that really go into a retirement portfolio sustainability or construction. We also actually have this kind of consider the impact of the other assets that they have, one investment properties that he finds it's hard to generate consistent rental income. With this info, I could actually, generate another scenario whereby, just by liquidating or even selling the property, paying off whatever is the outstanding loan, and then you just reinvest, the leftover sales proceeds, in this case about 300,000, into his entire retirement nest egg or portfolio, and then it turns out we can actually statistically show him how would the best case, the worst case scenario, or even the middle case scenario actually improves. When I say improves, it means that the portfolio, the retirement nest egg, can actually sustain longer before it runs out of money. And other than that, we can even model scenarios with different spending levels, like how much longer this entire retirement nest egg can withstand or can extend its retirement fund sustainability just by spending, say, 1,000 less every month starting today, or even reducing personal spending inflation by 1 or 2%. And this kind of magnitude of positive difference that it will make to actually extend the longevity of his retirement nest egg. So for clients who are not yet retired, now obviously we can adjust, or we can see, or we can tweak more things, such as the savings rate or the portfolio composition, to still grow the portfolio more, accumulate a larger retirement nest egg before retirement. We can also consider the impact personal inflation rates and the potential capital injections or ad hoc or planned capital withdrawals from the retirement nest egg at different points of time. You have to withdraw at a certain age to fund for your children's education, right? So all in all, this exercise or advisory, it makes clients feel such kind of clarity of picture, because the kind of comprehensive visualization which can model and analyze scenario with different spending levels, different inflation rates, or personal inflation rates, and additional income sources, such as pensions or rental income. And all our clients actually feel much confident, much peace of mind, and that higher sense of certainty in anticipating, planning, and preparing for their retirement finances.